Namaste and good day, friends. This is Yugal Parashar back again. Friends, we have with us Virginia Ruby Anderson, aka Ginny Anderson, Labour MP from Hutt South, List MP. Welcome to the Indian News.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Namaste and thank you.
Namaste. Now, Ginny, you have been Labour's police spokesperson, and recently you have been made income and job spokesperson as well. So, as a former police minister and a Labour police spokesperson, you just recently made a comment about the rising crime in the country and its impact on the migrant community, especially on the Indian community. What different would you have done to make a change in this crime situation here? Or what this government is not doing right, so crime is still not in control?
Well, people want, when they call police, they
Yeah.
expect to get a response. And so this government promised 500 more police officers by November this year. I
Yeah.
think they have about 11 or 13 sitting around.
Yeah, they
around.
promised to do it in first 2 years of
Yeah.
their
So that date is coming up in November.
Yeah.
And it looks like they will have failed to meet that target. When we were in government, we delivered 1,800 additional police officers. So we believe that resourcing the front line and making sure there are police there to respond is one of the best ways to get on top of crime, particularly retail crime.
So when it comes to retail crime, recently the government made this a new norm, which is now you don't even have to report a theft or anything which is under $500.
Yeah.
Do you think it's adding to this crime wave, especially the retail crimes?
It's really concerning that a directive from a senior police officer went out telling other police not to investigate shoplifting under $500. That sends a strong signal to criminals that you can steal under 500 and the police will not respond. And that's the wrong answer to be giving. We need to make sure that every single crime is investigated, and it's making sure that offenders are held to account and are punished for their offending. That is important, that message is sent out. And this government is sending a message out to say that if it's under $500, it doesn't matter.
We see on a day-to-day basis a helplessness of even the so-called security, which is always there outside any supermarkets and big stores. They also are helpless. They hardly do anything when they see someone moving out of the store, have a trolley full of the stolen stuff. What would you say about it? How can this be checked?
We want to make sure that businesses can cope, and it's even more tough for these businesses during a cost of living crisis. Already it's difficult, so losing goods is just unacceptable. We want to work with businesses to make sure that we have good measures in place. We know that there are good security measures to be rolled out, but we also think that it's the job of the police to come when they are called. I have grave fears around these new citizens arrest provisions. My fear is that a small business owner or even a customer could be hurt if they intervene and attempt to try and do what the police should be doing.
Sure. Now, Jenny, what's your take about the rising homelessness in the country, especially in big city?
Well, let me be very clear that this is a problem caused by the national government changing the criteria for emergency housing. They've talked up a big game and said this is a success because we have fewer people in emergency housing. The reality is those people are now on the streets of Auckland and the streets of Wellington, and they are contributing to disorder and unsafety in those areas. It's a real concern that there is not safe places for people to get housing, and this government doesn't seem to be taking the problem seriously.
Now, we see thousands of people leaving this country every year. In fact, the largest number of people who left the country was the year 24-25. And we have now around 18,000 fewer construction workers in this country. Where do you see this country is heading to?
So what this government did, to be clear, is they cancelled some really big projects like the Housing New Zealand, 3,500 Kainga order builds, the Dunedin Hospital, for example, the IREX, the ferries, the Inter-Islander ferries contract got cancelled. These were significant infrastructure projects that the construction workforce was relying on for a pipeline of work. And so when those contracts got cancelled, a lot of people left for Australia to receive higher wages. And it's going to be very difficult to attract those people back to New Zealand. And it's cancelling those big projects that's actually further entrenched the recession that we're going through now. So this government has made the recession deeper and longer as a result of the short-sighted thinking of cancelling some of those
So,
projects.
what do you think your government would have done differently if you were in power today, or if you happen to be back in power next year? How would you be doing differently so this country's economy is back on track?
Well, Chris Hipkins has been very clear to say that we will not do what this national government has done, and that's just uproot, just tear up contracts that are in place and cause a high level of uncertainty within our economy.
Yeah.
So we have said that we will not do that. Projects like the Inter-Islander Ferry in Wellington, there was a signed contract in place. When the government tears that up and negotiates out of it, that sends ripples right through the construction industry of uncertainty because they can't rely on those contracts. So we will not do what they did by uprooting what is in place.
So, since you seized the power to the position in last 2 years, how have you fared with your constituents or the people you reach out to, and you intend to reach out in the next coming election? I'm sure your party is just targeting to be back in the power. The way this government is going, there are fair chances for you people to come back. But how would you deal with such kind of an economic scenario? It's in shambles now.
Well, I think you've summed it up well, that people were promised that things would get better under this government, but in fact they've actually got worse. So we want to see higher wages and higher living conditions here in New Zealand. Right now, someone in Australia earns around about $500 a fortnight, more than New Zealand.
Yeah.
There is a way of growing our economy to make sure that we have higher wages, better living standards, and also growing our economy. So I'm interested.
Where will the money come from?
Well, I would say by continuing to have great things like video game development. The government gave just $40 million for a tax rebate in that industry, and it went from earning our country $400 million a year to well over $700 million a year. Our young people who are digital natives, not me, they can do amazing work, and there are jobs that pay high money, that give us a great export. We can sell ourselves overseas. That's just one example where some government backing in a small area can grow our economy even more. We want to find 4 or 5 different areas like video game development that can make New Zealand a world leader in some special areas where we can be strong.
How hopeful and positive are you about India's relation with New Zealand?
I'm always hopeful. I'm a hopeful kind of person. I love our relationships with India, and it's great to see it strengthened. We started that strong relationship back way under, as Helen Clark as the Prime Minister. She was a strong advocate and very active within the Indian community here, and she continued that relationship through trade. And so we would like to see it to continue to grow. One of our largest growing populations, we know from the last migrant intake, has come from India.
Yeah.
So much to add to our communities, so much richness. And I always welcome the fact that we have much to learn from each other.
Do you think this government is making enough efforts to make that relation stronger?
My deep concern with this government is some of the sentiment around Māori and the treaty, the anti-treaty and even anti-Māori view that has implications wider than just Māori. It has created a narrative of division and even hate. And I see recent examples of the new Air New Zealand chief executive where posts had to be taken down from online because of racist comments. And so my fear is that this division that has been brewing up in the last few years in our country spills over into other areas. We're too small of a country to be divided. We must stay united, not just for ourselves, but for our children as well.
Oh, well, on that note, we conclude our interview. Thank you so much for your time, Ginny. And
my pleasure.
yeah, welcome to
Thank
the
you.
Indian News once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.